Hello, family. Welcome to Relationship Wednesday. Today on the podcast, we have Chezelle Pryor with us. Chezelle is a woman of God, born and raised in Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn.
Come on, Bed-Stuy.
Where my darling wife was raised.
That's right.
Her journey began with the intent to reconnect with God, which helped to regain control of life's circumstances and situations. Chezelle began editing works of art, stories created by one author, and that later turned into an editing opportunity for a small publishing company where authors' works were published and sold to the masses. That editing later morphed into a desire to become a self-published author and start Editorial Precision, her own company. Not for the sole intent of becoming an overnight success or a millionaire, but to fulfill a prophecy told to her by a complete stranger. And we're definitely going to get into that because I want to know about that story.
Mm-hmm.
So Chezelle, welcome to the podcast.
Hello. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Excited.
We're excited to have you on.
Yeah.
So family, as you know how it goes down. That's Chezelle's bio.
Yeah.
And now Lisa's going to tell you who she really is to her.
Come on, say that. Say that.
So I'm going to sit back because this may take a minute, family.
You know what? You're right.
It's long history. It's long history.
Listen.
Can't help it.
Listen, Chezelle, my sis. I have known Chezelle. Wow. I met you when I was 16?
We were 15, 16. Yes.
Yes.
Sophomore year of high school.
Sophomore year of high school. That's right. We met because I started to tutor her in math. And
that accounting thing is killing me.
I started to tutor her in math, but the day she came over to be tutored was the day that my very first boyfriend broke my heart. Broke my heart. Ooh, wasn't good. But Chezelle, man, let me tell you something about this sister right here. That she has been my ride and die again. Sister, let me tell you, for life. She has mothered me. This is the most mothering young person I had ever met. Cleaning my face. I was like, who does that? You're like 15, 16. How are you mothering me right now? Come here, Lisa, fix your clothes. It was just
So you're saying you was a hot mess?
No, well, that's what you get from this story.
I'm asking.
That was a hot mess. I was a little disheveled. I wasn't a hot mess.
Okay, I guess. You were heartbroken. I understand.
Yes.
I get it.
But let me tell you, her heart, that's my sister for life. This is not a season. This is a lifetime person.
Through the arguments, through the fights, the disagreements, it don't matter. Okay, you finished being mad at me. It's 5 days later. All right, well, let's pick up where we left off.
There you go. That's a ride or die right there.
Yeah. Oil. We've been through high school. We've been through husbands. We've been through boyfriends. We've been through it all together. We've seen each other through it. We've cheered each other on. We've comforted one another. We've lent the shoulder to one another. We found Jesus at a point together, which was incredible.
That part.
That was another level for
that
us.
part. 2010. Never forget it.
I did not expect that. As much as we had done, I just never thought that she and I would embark on that journey together. So that was incredible. And I think it was a wonderful thing for us to see the growth in one another in that space. Yeah. It takes you to a different space when you bond with one another, with God in the midst.
Oh, absolutely.
But that Chezelle is that's my girl. I know no matter what, that's the one I can call on. If anything pop off, even for you, if you act a fool, she coming for you. I can go on. You know what? I'm gonna stop. Let me.
See, I didn't have to give Tony the threaten and talk for the wedding. Yeah. He didn't have to get that. So
nope.
It's all good.
See, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I knew what was up.
You knew it was up. But that's
You said where she was from. I was like, okay, I'm good.
Right. That's my sis.
And attached to her, yeah, you had to have known.
I'm good.
So there you go. That's a snippet.
A snippet. A snippet, family. So that means, I definitely, when I met Chezelle, I definitely saw the love that you two have for one another.
Yeah. And
it's a beautiful thing to see. So, and to have someone that's been down with you for that long.
Yeah.
That's rare. That's rare. So that's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
So, and then for you both to know that you are now going to be girls forever.
Yes.
In the kingdom.
Oh, we knew that a long time ago.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So
absolutely. But to know we have this sisterhood in the kingdom.
In the kingdom, yeah.
Because you have your friends here that you ride with. But then when you know that they're going to get into the kingdom, that's what it's about. Yeah. I mean, I love her.
Yeah.
But to know that you love someone enough that you want them to get into the kingdom, that's a different type of love. That's that Christ-like love.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
I'm not going to love you in some mess. I'm going to love you into the kingdom.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We're going to be cutting up there too. We're going to cut up down here, cut up there.
All right, Chezelle. So share with the family a little bit about you outside of the bio, and then also, we want to know about this prophecy that was told to you by this stranger. So, a little bit about that.
I'm going to start with the prophecy because it ties into Lisa yet again, introducing me to someone that she has spoken to, and she had such incredible feedback from her conversation with Miss Diana Harris, that I knew I needed to do this for myself as well. And during that conversation, this woman didn't know me from Adam. I didn't know her. The information that she shared with me, it was nowhere to be found on social media. It was nowhere on the Google or internet or anything. There was no possible way for this woman to have known the things that she knew and shared with me. But that conversation went from an all-time high to the crying to the core of my stomach. I was just boo-hooing because she said things to me that nobody knows. And she also gave me additional information that reaffirmed me that she was the real deal. And to get messages from the other side.
Right.
And for them to come through exactly as those people were to me, it was awesome. For when she mentioned my great-grandmother, that demeanor, and I'm getting goosebumps up and down the front of my legs and my arms right now, because that demeanor that she said, well, this older lady is coming forward, and she said, go ahead and ask your questions because she know you got some questions to ask. And prior to me even having this conversation with Diana, I had said in my mind, I want my great-grandmother to come through. That's the only way I'm going to believe anything that this woman says to me. I needed her to come through.
Right.
And that's exactly what happened. And she asked me a bunch of other questions, not knowing that I was working on Lisa's book with her and additional books. This woman knew nothing. She said, are you writing something right now? Or are you doing something that you're writing something? Are you writing a book? And I said, well, it was like, wait a minute.
Right.
I said, no, I'm not writing the book, but I am working with one of my longtime friends. Like, she's a sister to me. I'm working on a book with her. And I mentioned the other few books because I think at this point, at least, we had already done 3 of the books, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So having had that information, she says, well, I got news for you, because you have stories inside of you to tell, and I don't mean about your life. And I was like, what is she talking about? I'm just editing, I'm just lending, but the editing thing with Lisa was the very first one. It was just hey, sis, can you look this over for me? Because, I know how you are with English and, being raised by a school teacher and everything. Just look at this for me. Okay, I got you. No problem.
Right.
There was no monetary exchange or anything. This was just because that was my girl.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Period. And after that, Lisa's like, hey, so can I get you to do some other stuff, maybe? And it was like, without a question, let's do this. So we worked together. And in the midst of that, I just started having ideas just pop into my head. I would literally be dead to the world, asleep, and stuff would come in my head. I would have to get up, get my phone out, and I'd have to verbally, spit it out, or I'd have to type it in there because it was sitting here.
Yeah.
And then I started keeping notepads by my bed and a pen. I would write in the dark. I didn't care. It was, how it comes out slanted on the page. I didn't care because
what was I trying to say?
He's like, what did I say here? And, scribble up. But the fact of the matter was, an entire book came.
Yeah.
And that was my very first book that I put out, self-published. And in the midst of writing that first book of my own, a second book developed.
Yeah.
So 2 books are now in the process. And I recently started, or finished, I should say, the very first book that I started. So now I have 3 published works.
Yeah.
Self-published, and as you mentioned before in my bio, there are additional authors, who I've edited their works, and they are published through a small publishing company, and I ended up getting this publishing gig because of Lisa. Yet again, this woman was still involved. She was in my life, and in more ways than one. She was that person that I could call on, and, not to really put my business in the street, but there was a time way back when, and I know you remember this time, because we had this conversation. I was in such dire straits.
Yeah.
That was the only friend, other than one other person, that I could call and say, hey, I need help.
Mm-hmm.
And the way that I found her, after not having been connected to this woman for years, after I moved away to California, there was a lot of years between Lisa and I that we hadn't seen or heard or spoke to each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I knew Mama Tate still lived where she lived. I wrote that letter.
Yeah.
And within 2 weeks' time, my sister was calling me because Mama Tate said, Lise, your friend needs you.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
That sounds like Mama.
And it was a connection ever since. There had been times in between, yet again, that we did not agree on everything, did not see everything eye to eye, because she was in one place on one plane, I was in another place on another plane, and it just wasn't syncing up.
Yeah.
And because I had my thoughts and I had my reservations about the religious aspect of life, that pushed us apart again at one point.
Yeah. Yeah.
But in 2010, and this probably will lead into some of the questions that you're going to ask me, that's when I fell in love with Jesus. That's when I fell in love with his Father, God.
Yeah.
Because I was in such a bad state of being, I really just didn't even want to live no more. I was tired. I was done. I had just had it way up to here with everything that I was experiencing.
Yeah.
And once again, God was knocking on my door. Got somebody to talk to you. Got somebody for you. And who did he send? That lady right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how my life started to flourish.
Yeah.
In my relationship with God and with myself.
Yes.
Because I kept putting everything and everybody before him and before myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when the light bulb came on, it wasn't about being selfish.
Yeah.
It was about being self-fulfilled.
Yeah.
It was about allowing God to fill me up the way he needed me to be filled up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's me. This is who I am.
Look, that
take me as I am, or here's the door. Keep it pushing. That's all I can tell you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love the fact that you know, even like you said, even the time spent apart, you knew where mommy was.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you sent that letter. You know, that
right.
To send that letter.
Yeah.
After all that time.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You know, that right there took courage and strength.
Yes, indeed.
Because you know that pride thing.
I was desperate. And I knew I could not do anything alone anymore. So, you know, I had to reach out to a person for God to move through that person and do what I needed him to do for me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Couldn't just be any old body.
It couldn't
not
have been
her.
just no.
Not with Chezelle.
Right.
It could not be just any old body. Absolutely.
Right. And he knew that.
Yeah.
He knew that. That's why he put her on your heart.
Yeah.
You need to reach out to Lisa.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's nothing that this woman does not know about me. And when I say nothing, I mean intimate details that probably nobody should know.
It's stuff I want to forget.
Look, because I trust her.
Yeah.
I trust her with my life. I trust her with my heart. I trust her with my spirit.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
There's
absolutely.
not anything that she could tell me that's gonna make me go, woo, girl. There's nothing.
It's true. It's true. I tried.
There's nothing I don't know.
You tried.
But there's that thing called I don't judge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a God thing.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
That's the key.
God is in control and he is the judger of all.
That's it.
Yeah.
Don't matter what I say. Don't matter what I do.
Yeah. You know, the crazy thing, I'm not crazy. The interesting thing, and Zell does not know this, that when in 2010, when we started on our spiritual journey, I believe and I understand Zell probably thought I knew much more about God than I did and was closer to God. She doesn't understand. I ran to God for her. I ran to him. I clung to him. I got intimate with him. I was like, you need to feed me because my sister needs it. I didn't care about me. I didn't care about, and don't misunderstand what I say. I didn't care about my relationship with him. All I knew was my sister needed him, but I knew she needed to get him through me. So everything I did with him, my prayer with him, my reading my word with him, my studying him, my watching this pastor, my going to church was all about what more can you give me so I can take Chezelle? And it's crazy because I didn't realize how much I was being fed, but all I cared about was my sister needed it. She needed to pray every Wednesday. She needed to hear these scriptures. She needed to hear this word. And God is awesome because he's like, you don't even understand. I'm feeding you too. But come on, we can do it. We can do this for your sister. I'll let you keep saying that. What else you got for me to give to Chezelle? And he's like, but I'm feeding you too.
Whatever gets you in front of me.
I mean, listen, when the mama bird take the food in to feed the baby bird, I'm sure she gets some nutrients.
Absolutely.
As she's passing it on.
Absolutely.
So, but that's the love I have for this woman right here.
Mm-hmm.
I listen. If I had to be in church 8 days a week, make up an additional day to ensure my sister was okay, that's what I was going to do.
I tell you, those days, there were times where we would go off into prayer. I can't even tell you what I said because those were not my words. Those were words that God put on my mouth, on my tongue, in my head for it to pass through me to say. I don't know everything that I said. And there were days that it was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, so I know during that period, 2010, that's when I started to get molded.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't allow myself to fall out of the confines of what path God had me walking on.
Mm-hmm.
Because in 2016, I fell in love again. I fell in love with myself.
Yes, sis, say that.
Okay. I fell in love with myself 6 years later. 2 years after that, 8 years later, 2018, I fell in love with my life. I fell in love with my work. Yeah. And in 2020, I fell in love again, even though the country was in pure crisis.
Mm-hmm.
God let me know that he had me and he had my babies and he had my people. He had my friends. He loved us enough to keep us safe and to keep us protected.
Yeah.
During these crazy times. So I owe my God everything. I can't speak for nobody else.
Yeah.
I know that I can't do anything without the approval of the man upstairs.
Mm-hmm.
Can't do nothing. People like to think they're in control. People like to think that they're doing something. Yeah. You know, you want to tell God a joke. Tell him that you're operating the boat. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah,
where you going?
Hello.
So she kind of answered that first question.
Yeah. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. So that's all right.
So we know when you fell in love with Jesus and what the journey looked like.
But yes. Who is God to you in your relationship right now?
I would have to say God is my relationship. Because he is a part of me. You understand what I'm saying? So speaking to you and your supporters right now, God has seen me through my worst. He has seen me at my best. And from his perspective about my life and my actions, from my own point of view, I'm still a work in progress. You know, so I have other types of relationships, but this is my relationship.
Yes.
Yeah.
This God is my relationship.
Yeah.
So that's the connectivity. And you talked about my journey. Initially, it was just confusion and uncertainty.
Yeah.
That was the real beginning of this journey. I didn't know if it was really real or if it was just a phase because, we didn't talk every Wednesday. And then after some months, we didn't even keep up with this. But I think there were other things going on with you that, you were trying to do and get your business stuff going. So there was rationale as to why we didn't stay on that particular path. But I knew I needed to allow him the opportunity to show me that it was real. And that meant for me to get out of the way and get out of my own way as well. And to learn how to be confident in my decision making, because that's where I struggled the most. being able to actually just make a decision without somebody else's earful, somebody else in my ear, but I wasn't confident, but I just told myself I had to be 100 with everybody. It didn't care and that meant I truly had to allow myself to let go of things and of people that were security blankets for me of sorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I tell you I let go of things, they were emotional things, they were mental things, physical things. Honey, I purged so much in the last few years, you would think, does she own anything? I don't need that. What am I holding on to this for? It's been sitting up here for 6 months. Bye. You gotta go. And then those people who became crutches for me, that security blanket, if I had them around, it's okay. Everything's gonna be all right. Hey, stupid. No, you don't lose the people. Look, hey, you told me to be me, and and this is what I say to myself sometimes. Like, look, girl, look, you stop. You're doing too much for nothing. You don't need these people to prove who you are.
Yeah.
Because my number one saying is, I was born into this world by myself, and I'm gonna die by myself. So it's always gonna be just me and God.
Yeah.
Always. So I don't know how else to express to people that God is real, and your relationship with God can be just as real as a physical relationship with another human being. It's all about what you think and what you feel and what you allow him to do in your life, move in your life, bring in your life, remove from your life. Because you can't have one without the other. You can't just keep taking and not let go of nothing or giving nothing. It just don't work that way. So,
a lot of people miss that second part. Bring this, change my circle and stuff like that. But like I said, in order to do that, I got to remove some folk. And you're like, well, wait a minute, hold on, what?
Yeah. Or anything, expand my territory. Well, I got to remove this person because they're hindering your growth. Well, bring love into my life, right? But that's not the love that you want. Let me give you the right one. So I got to remove that one. Wait, not yet. Let me hold on for 2 weeks. He's about to take me to.
Like, wait, I'm not quite ready yet.
He said, no addition comes child. Hold on.
Just saying, if you take me to a concert, hold on, guys, not yet.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely.
But
absolutely.
So every relationship has different stages. What stage are you in right now in your relationship with God?
Well, I don't know in by definition what are these stages that you might be meaning, but if I had to classify it into one, I would say synchronicity.
Okay.
Because this is allowing me to be worry-free most days, with most circumstances. And I'm still human. I still have fears, and I still lack a little bit of confidence sometimes, but it just depends on the situation. And it's not until I walk through the fire and I come out on the other side unscathed that it could only be God's doing. You know what I'm saying? So this is a testament of his love to me, to see me through it, because he told me he could and then he would.
Yeah.
And all I needed to do was follow him and follow his lead. So I'm in that, I'm trying to sync up my life so it's balanced.
Yeah.
And with the balancing, it's God, it's my family, it's my work, it's my business, it's my friends, it's my books, it's just everyday life. I'm just trying to marry everything together so it just blends nicely. And all of those pieces of the puzzle start going into the places that they're supposed to go into.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm part of God's puzzle. I'm just a little slither of the puzzle. But
without you, the picture's not complete.
There you go.
Right. And what did we say? Size does not matter. Size does not matter.
Yes, we did.
Right. But I'm glad you
Previous
said
podcast, family.
I'm glad you said that you still lack confidence sometimes. And you still deal with fears, because I don't want people to have the misconception that once you rock in with God, all of a sudden there's no more fear, and I'm always feeling confident, and everything looks great, and I never have bad hair days, and I'm always in a wonderful tra-la-la mood. Nay, he said, cast your cares, because he knew there would be some, you know, and your burdens and your worries and your battles, I will take care of them, and I will avenge you, because he knew we would deal with struggles and challenges and battles and issues and enemies, you know.
Fear not.
There you go. Right. There you go.
Right.
How can you tell you not to fear if you don't have none? You know what I'm saying? But it's right there in his word.
There's a whole lot. There's a whole lot that I can walk around here and be fearful of. There's those things that I got to put in the bucket, and I got to tread lightly. But there are those things that I just got to go here, Lord, because
yeah. But if
I'm not good with this.
If we didn't have those things, we wouldn't turn to God. Let's be realistic. We go to God. Yeah. God is like rehab for a lot of us. We go when there's a problem. But if there's no problem, we're like, all right, Jesus, I'll see you later.
I don't have to talk to you today.
Right. I don't need to call you today. You know,
stay on the couch. I'll be back.
I'll be back.
Yeah, it's like, my phone stay on speed dial.
Listen,
Jesus, you got a minute, okay? So I just need a minute. That's all I need. Just 1 minute.
Yes.
And thank God he's a God that will still be on that sofa when you come back, waiting for you.
Listen.
And so, you know, this I talked to Lisa about this particular podcast because I listened to one of her podcasts one day, and she mentioned something about God and humor. And I said, this is perfect for the book that I had written. And so the third book, which is literally find the humor in your life because God says so. You know, and I was just like, this is perfect. Like, yeah, God does have a sense of humor because he talks to me every day. So and he listens. So, you know, I know he's got to have a sense of humor. Because dealing with this chick right here, I come to him with some crazy stuff, and he just probably be like, Lord, not today. Like, okay, I'm gonna handle her today.
I think I'm pretty funny. I mean, I clearly got it from my father. I mean, hello, I'm funny, right, babe? I'm funny.
Yes, you're funny.
Yeah. You know, she should say I'm funny. Say I'm funny. Look,
if you got it from your father, then yes, you are. Absolutely.
You said what?
I don't have to be there tonight, but you do.
You know what?
Yeah, so you better say she funny.
That's why he laughing so long. That's right.
She funny.
You know what?
Hey, whatever it takes to get the message through to people, that just because we love God, just because we trust God, and we believe in his word, doesn't mean that we are the greatest people. Doesn't mean that we don't make errors. Doesn't mean that we don't do and say stupid stuff. You know.
Yeah.
You know, everybody has that thing. When it pushes that button, all chaos breaks loose. You know, I mean, don't push the button on the wrong day, because that's when the inhumane part will come out of a whole lot of us.
That's gonna be a long conversation about forgiveness.
And forgiveness
I didn't mean to
doesn't
black out.
mean
I didn't.
I forgot either.
Father, I didn't mean to black out.
Forgiveness don't mean I forgot. It means, okay, we gonna go with this, but I still remember what you did. I still remember what you said, but I forgive you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, Jesus got mad. He flipped the table.
Yeah.
So, who are we to think that we're not going to be upset? And come on, if he got upset, look out.
Look, again.
Because we don't have the control he has.
Look, I tell everybody when they bring it up, I'm like, everything you need to know, he's written. It's written in his word. He says, slow to anger. He didn't say, don't get angry. He just said, think about it. And if it really warrants you getting mad, then go ahead. No, I'm just playing. He didn't say that. He didn't say that.
That's not what it said.
That's not what it said.
Slow.
But he said slow to anger. So, again, I will shelter you from the storm. I'll see you way through the storm. He didn't say it wasn't going to be any storms.
Right.
He said there in his word that it's going to be storms, but I'll get you through it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know is right there. He ain't pulling no punches. It's right there in the word. So
yeah.
And when you sit down and talk to people who I call them Bible thumpers. Don't just sit and quote the Bible to me and then your actions speak otherwise.
Say that.
Don't just sit there and quote scripture to me. It's one thing for you to bring out points in the Bible to state a point, but don't whip out the Bible every time somebody does something that you don't like. That's not what it's for. Don't sit there and quote me Ephesians 2:14-17, and I don't even know what it is. See, because I'm not a Bible thumper. But, somebody gonna go look that up after listening to this podcast. And y'all go ahead and look it up and y'all post it on Lisa's page. Go ahead.
Somebody gonna look it up. They're gonna be like, this ain't had nothing to do with the cow.
I wanna know what that one is. I want to see if you pulled out something good. Don't y'all keep on talking. I'm gonna check my phone real quick.
My goodness.
It might be a word.
She is looking for her phone.
And can I tell you, I cannot find my phone.
Well, that's because it's not for you to find right
There you go. There you go.
It's not for you to find.
So, yeah. That's awesome.
What, did I destroy your questionnaire?
No,
not at all.
You touched on it. We are. My questions are done.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. So at this point, we usually give our guests an opportunity to just speak to the family and just leave them some words of wisdom, some nuggets that you want to drop on them. And, the mic is yours.
Well, I think I gave them a lot today to chomp on. I really did. Because I gave you a part of me. And that's a whole lot.
There you go.
And not everybody gets me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You got to be very, very particular about the people that you allow to take a bite out of you.
Yes.
Because a lot of people will take some information that might be valuable information, misconstrue and abuse that information about you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very careful about who I share my inners with.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many levels to Chezelle, and Lisa knows my levels. This person right here is a whole nother level of Chezelle. Yeah, there's the business Chezelle, there's the nurturing Chezelle, there's the don't play with me Chezelle. There's the I got nothing but love for you, Chezelle. So you got to play your cards right to know what kind of person you're gonna get today. People talk about all these different personalities and stuff and schizophrenia. No, it's not about that. This is just about the many different aspects of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I can be a chameleon and blend in, or I can be the wallflower and blend in, or I can go stand over way down the road and act like I don't know who you are. And when you get up in my face, I'm gonna be like, I don't know you. It just depends on what's going on in my world.
Yeah.
You know, and this person right here, this is the genuine me. This is the one that I need people to understand that I am nowhere near perfection.
Mm-hmm.
I still have a lot of growing to do.
Yeah.
But God put me on that path some years ago, and it's been very trying. It's been amazing. It's been painful. It's been glorious. It's any what is it? Verb, adverb? Look, see, I don't hear. You know, the verb is there are so many verbs that I can use here because I have been through A through Z of the spectrum of emotion on this journey to being right with God.
Yeah.
If I don't get right with nothing else, I know I got to get right with God. And if I get right with God, I'm going to stay right with myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So that's what people need to understand. Having a relationship with God doesn't mean you picking up the Bible every single day and you got to read through it. That's not what the relationship with God is about for me. That relationship is acknowledging his presence in my life and acknowledging when I'm not paying attention to what nuggets he's giving me on a day-to-day basis.
Come on.
Because sometimes people hear you, but they don't listen to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like you hear it, but did you really pay attention? And that's the same thing with your relationship with God. Shut up. Sit still. Learn something. I'm keeping it real.
Oh my gosh. I feel
That's
like
what my
I'm that
great-grandmother used to
16-year-old again. She says, shut up. And I feel like I am sitting in Sister Dylan's classroom where she's sitting at the board. I ain't going to say the rest of that. And she's sitting at the board and here she goes, shut up. And that I went right back there.
Just hush your mouth. Sit down, shut up, be quiet, learn something. And I've been told that so many times in my life, but the one place that it really applied to was when I started having this relationship with the man upstairs.
There you go.
It's like, you don't know nothing. Just go shut up then, you know.
Oh my God.
It's gonna be quiet. It's gonna be quiet. Yeah. So, you know, other than that, and I don't have a whole lot to, you know, and I'm, like I said, I am not a Bible thumper. I am not the most greatest person on the face of the earth, but I'm a human. And I make mistakes too. But through my mistakes, I have learned so much along the way.
Yeah.
That there is no reason for me to make those same mistakes again.
There you go. That's what it's all about, right?
And if I made them again, it's because I didn't what? I didn't pay attention. And I wish I knew exactly which page it was, but I'm going to read this one page to you. And it's very relevant to that. And this is out of my book, Finding Humor in Life Because God Said So.
Yes, I see it. I see it. All right now.
What's that title again?
Find the humor in life because God said so.
Okay.
Okay.
Just wanted the family to hear that.
There you go.
Proceed.
Are you a kept man or a kept woman? You can feel good about being kept by the right one if you understand your relationship with God. This is the experience of what real love is. Relish in that feeling. Doesn't it feel good when you just kind of like let God in and he's doing his thing? That little part right there is ad-lib. But you will continue to shine because God never turns out the lights. He never fails us. If we fail, it's because we were disobedient. Okay. So do you want to be a kept man or a kept woman by the right person? Allow God in. Because that is the right one to be kept by. Listen, pay attention to those signs and those things that we think are irrelevant because they hold a lot of weight.
All right. I love it.
That's it. We dropping the mic.
Chezelle, tell the family where they can find you.
Yes.
You can find me on Facebook at Chezelle Pryor, or you can find me on Instagram at IAM_A_BKLYN_babe. I am a Brooklyn babe, and that is for my company editorial position.
Fantastic.
All right.
Well, you know what?
She dropped the knowledge.
I feel like I shouldn't say nothing because you know what? I feel like I should just shut up.
I can't with you. All right, family. Chezelle, thank you so much for joining us on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
We love you.
And I love y'all back with everything I got.
And there you have it, family. Love and blessings.
Wait. I'm sorry. Don't close out.
What?
Wait. What? You said you have 3 books.
I do.
But you only mentioned 1.
So.
Come on.
Give me a second.
Give her a second.
Give her a second.
Here she go.
Commercial time.
So for those of you who understood that I'm still human, and the other part of me.
Oh, here we go.
Layers, the different layers.
It's layers to this. So this is my Black erotica book.
Okay.
And it's called Sugar Boots, a gentleman's nightclub.
Okay.
On Amazon.
On Amazon.com, or you can go to my IG page and request the order. And of course, if you order 1 or more copies, you're going to get a discount. And for our 12 years and up, I had another book called Forever His Wife, Forever Her Husband. And it's a wedding story that takes place in New York. So this is really 2 books in one.
Okay.
So it's split into 4 chapters. The first chapter is from day 12 down to day 2, told from the woman's perspective leading up to the wedding. The second chapter is day 12 down to day 2, told from the man's perspective. Chapter 3 is the wedding day, and chapter 4 start their family. Now, there's a little bit of a twist to this story, but you're gonna have to go buy it to find out.
There you go. There you go. Come on now. Come on now. You know what we end this. I'm be like, now tell me what the story is. Tell me what's the story.
Don't tell her now.
And I've encouraged you gotta get the book. And something that I was encouraging is, if somebody got the book from me or I gave them the book as a gift, my thing was, you know what? You got gifted the book. I need you to go purchase the book and gift it to someone else. And I didn't care what your responses were, what your reactions were to the book. I needed people to just go on Amazon and just write their review. I don't care if it was good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. Just write your review, and hopefully, people will continue to do so. I was literally just at a biker convention I don't know if you remember my cousin Anthony Settle. Okay. So he was an advisor on the Biker Boys as a motorcycle advisor, on the film. And he's associated with two motorcycle clubs, Atlanta and here in LA. And I went to this convention of theirs, and it was just weird that he ends up talking to them about my book. People are handing me their phones, like put it in there, put it in the cart, go ahead, let me just buy it. Oh, put your name in there. That was like friggin' amazing to me. It was like, okay, they just, because he said so, they ordering my book. I was like, so I felt blessed and I was grateful and happy. But again, these books, and I'm actually writing another book with my grandson. So he's going to have a book for little kids. And, I can't wait to finish that one with him. So it's going to be an amazing journey, because outside of his book, I have actually 2 other books that I'm currently working on. I just haven't had the time to finish working on them, but I know it's coming. There's no rush, because as I stated before, the author in me is not writing to become rich.
Mm-hmm.
It's writing to share, as I state on the back of my books, I'm writing to share a part of me and my thinking with the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this book might bring joy to somebody who just got married or who is thinking about getting married. This book, as my uncle said, this is a big hit with the men, So, you just never know. And this is just a little table read. It's a coffee table book. It's something that you can throw in your purse if you're on a bus or a train. Yeah. You just need something to read, that's quick and easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just little funny euphemisms and colloquialisms, that kind of thing, words of advice, from the crazy girl. But, like I said, I'm just excited that my life is going in the direction that it's going, because it has seen some pretty grim days.
Yeah. That's awesome.
But thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Can I close out now, baby?
Yes. I'm gonna be quiet now. Sorry.
No, it's all love. There you have it, family. Love and blessings. Love and blessings. Thank you for listening to Let's Talk R&R with Tony and Lisa. Follow us on Instagram at Let's Talk R&R, where we welcome your feedback.